As we already know, the execution of our program starts in the static main method and goes line by line until the end of the main method. But what if we wanted our program to behave differently based on the user's input? For example, we could ask the user about the year in which he was born, and depending on whether he is more than 18 years old, we will display the greeting, and if he is not 18, then we display a message about the lack of access. To do that, we'll have to control the execution flow with an if-else statement. If statement will evaluate a given Boolean expression, and if that expression is a true value, then the following block of code will be executed. We invoke the if statement like this. If some condition, let's say, is user over 18, and then in a block of code, we'll just console write line hello, and the is user over 18 must be a Boolean variable or an expression. For now, let's just declare a variable and set its value to true. The console write line method will be only executed if that value is true, and we just hard-coded it to be true, so it will always be executed, but we will change it in just a moment. To the if statement, we can optionally add an else statement with its own block of code, which will be executed if the Boolean expression evaluates to false. The else statement must appear right after the if statement like this. So else, and then its own block of code, console write line access denied. And let's display some message right after the if-else statement, so console write line bye. Let's refactor the code a bit to take the user's input. So let's ask the user to input his year of birth. So console write line year of birth. Now we can read his input. So string user input is equal to console read line, and parse the value to be an int type so that we can check the value with a relational operator. So int year of birth is equal to int parse the user input. Instead of hard coding the value to true, it will be determined on the user input. So now it is equal to datetime now date, and now we can get the current year. Then we will subtract the year of birth, and we'll check if that's more than 18. We are checking only the year for simplicity. If I run the program and enter a value 2010, the Boolean expression should evaluate to false, thus access denied message should appear. Let's try inserting a value that evaluates that Boolean to be true. 1990 should be a good value. And this time, here's the greeting. In this way, with an if-else statement, we managed to control the flow of the execution of our program. However, if we had more than one expression to be checked, with its own block of code to be executed, we can add any number of them with a else if statement in between the if-else statement. Let's assume that in our case we additionally want to check if it is Sunday today, and if so, then we will write another message to the user. After the if statement code, we'll add an else if statement with the following condition. Datetime now, day of week is equal to day of week Sunday. If that evaluates to true, then we'll write a message, oh well, it's Sunday. This code might not make too much sense now, but I hope you get the point. Our code will behave a bit differently now. First, we will check if the user is over 18, And if he is, then we'll write the hello message, and the rest of the if-else statement, including the else-if part, is being skipped. So for that user, it will just display the hello message, and then the bye message, which is after the if-else block. However, if a user is under 18, for him the execution will look like this. First, we will check if the user is over 18, and he is not, so we are skipping the hello WriteLine invocation. Then we check if today is Sunday, and if yes, he will get the oh well it's Sunday message, and then the bye message, which is after the if-else statement block. The last case is for user who's under 18, and he's using that program on Monday, for example. For him, we'll also first check if he's over 18, and we know that he is not, so we are skipping the hello WriteLine invocation. Then we check today's day of the week, and it is not Sunday this time, so we skip this oh well it's Sunday message, and we go to the else block where the access denied message will be visible. And then of course the bye message. As I mentioned before, we can have as many else-if statements as we wish, and always the first case, which evaluates to true, will be executed, and the rest of the if-else statement will be skipped. If none of them evaluate to true, then the code from else statement will be executed. But keep in mind that the else statement is optional, so we could just remove it. And now if none of the cases evaluates to true, then nothing from the whole if-else statement will be executed.